If it wasn't an FC block, it would just say, get a new block. I think it's pretty clear this is the hole and that's not the hole. Damn Chinese, they're giving us rusty paper. We're going handheld, boys. Oh, there's heads in there.
I wasn't happy without lube, but I told it needs to figure out, get its life in order and get happy.
Drawer right there, right behind where everything is. I can check a million holes, but if it matches one of them, then it matches all of them, probably. So, this is a case that we are repairing. All of these studs were bad. You can see them here. They were all...
The ends are rusted off.
Rusted off, and they're very shitty.
These are from up north, where this little guy lived in the salt in the winter. It is actually a 64-5 FC case.
Yeah, you see here, the
oil
filler
dipstick tube boss.
Yeah, the boss on there, that's for
and
trucks.
You notice here that there is no hole for the car dipstick, even though it was cast this way, but they didn't machine that. They added this part, separate die they used when they created the pattern.
Basically repairing this because...
somebody in their infinite knowledge decided they were gonna, it must have pulled a stud at some point when they were working on it. And so they drilled it out and they put a helicoil in for a 7/16 14 thread. And that would be for the large diameter racing stud, I presume, from Auto Parts, or somebody used a piece of all thread. Anyway, I pulled that damn thing out. My initial thought was to drill and tap this for a 1/2" 20 thread, but the hole's already too big for that. And then I thought, and then I was going to drill it half 20, no, half 13.
13, yeah, of course.
And then put in an aluminum bolt.
Which would then...
Loctite it in. It would fill in the hole. It would expand and contract the same as the cast. Cut it off, drill and tap for 3/8/16, and then have actually a fairly factory-looking repair. But since the hole's too big, I was going to have to go to a 9/16 12. But it would be a 31/64 hole, and that's already bigger than that. So that ain't going to work. Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to just end mill this down 1/2 inch. I'm going to take a piece of 1/2 inch rod and we're going to put it in there with red Loctite. It'll be aluminum. The other thing we're going to do to make sure it's fastened is through this area here, we'll drill up
really down
a hole.
There?
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be up here.
No.
Oh, okay.
Although you could probably go.
Yeah, right. I was thinking.
No, because the stud's got to go in it. So you can't put a set screw in there. Yeah, I want to have it deeper than what we need to go, and then I can run the set screw and run it into this piece. Put that in with a red Loctite.
It's going to be Loctite. It's going to be interference fit, and then it's going to have a set screw. Yeah. It's really not going to come out ever.
I've already set this up square. I typically just put a bar down, and then I slide this up against the bar, because the bar is actually parallel to the table, obviously, duh. And then this is on the...
there's a rod, and you can't even see it on the camera.
Yeah, a rod, there's a little rod. And so since this actually will square it up with the center line of the crank, I've set it up. I zeroed on this hole since this is screwed up. This pair of holes, and this pair of holes, and this pair of holes, and the same down here, are the same as the center line of the cylinders. So I use this one to get to this one, and that's 4.85 inches. So I've already zeroed on that, 4.85 over, and I know this is going to be parallel as close as Chevy ever wanted it, plus or minus 5 thousandths or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
So now we're just going to punch this hole. Wow. Yeah, the reason we're saving it is because it's an FC block.
If it wasn't an FC block, it would just say, get a new block. But because it has this boss that makes it quite
depth
unique.
Okay, let's punch this. It's already not cleaning up right.
Yeah.
So I still might have to go to 9/16 and then get a piece of stock and turn it down. And of course, the owner doesn't want to spend a gob of money, doesn't want to get $1,000 invested in this block. So.
Yeah, it's not cleaning up right. Still might have to...
But the problem is that there's still the threads are exposed there that they dug into. And it was drilled at an angle. It was off. I've got a photo I'll put on the little video. It's drilled at an angle. So it's really idiotic. Terrible workmanship.
Do you have the stud that came out of there? No. The customer pulled it out before you...
Oh, yeah. No, there wasn't anything. It was just the threads.
Did you say that the stud was bent?
It was already gone.
Oh, really?
He didn't know if it was all thread or what the guy used. It was already out of there.
It was gone. What do you mean? Was this installed on an engine? with no stud?
I don't know the rest of the history.
How rare are FC blocks?
Pretty rare, especially when you get to 64.5, because there were even
What
less
year is
of
this
them.
one?
I don't know that. I'd have to look at the number, but either one or, because it's got the cutout here for the opposite side rod for the big crank, so it's
At least 64 or 5.
At least 64 or 5. There was nothing after that, so yeah.
He doesn't like it. It looks like there are still threads in there, though.
No, there aren't.
Yeah, on one side over there.
Oh, it is. Look at that. You're
There are
right.
probably threads in there.
But it's only just.
It's very small. I mean, it's only.
That's just a place for Loctite to be held.
Yeah.
That's how badly it was machined
Terrible.
or drilled and tapped when the guy did the helicoil.
Yeah, and then all these other ones we're just going to replace, right? You're just going to replace all the other
I'm
ones.
gonna fixture the block. I'm gonna set it up so that it gets put back in its same relationship, so I can drill and tap.
Next, we're going to
measure this hole.
We're going to measure the hole, and then we're going to make a rod that's going to go in there. It's going to press in there. That's 1 thou overside. I
Yeah,
think.
we're gonna heat
1
the
thou.
block up. We're gonna freeze the. So now when I take this off the fixture, the bar and this will keep this in alignment. So when it comes back in, I'm still dead center over that point and can
Yeah.
drill and tap. That's it.
Next step is dowel rod.
Yeah.
But we're still doing guides, so we're also doing guides at the same time.
Yeah, I got to finish 2 more custom guides. When that's done, then it's time for dowel.
Yeah.
And I think I might make a tiny start cone on the rod going in, maybe 1/8 of an inch, about 10,000ths undersize. If you start putting this in and the damn thing warms up enough, it'll lock in there and it'll be part ways in, and I'll have to machine it out.
I'm going to clean this off. We got here some pin gauges here. So these are the ones my dad uses for guide bores. 9/16 should be 5875, 5625. So there's no, they don't have half thou. There's no half thou ones in here. Let's get a better look at this. So this is the hole. I think it's pretty clear this is the hole and that's not the hole. But that's the hole. This is 562, and this is a minus case, right? So it's 3/10 undersize. This is the first time I think I've ever opened one of these. Come on now. Oh, do I have to wipe this guy off? Coat it like a little bit goo, like a WD. WD. There we go. Look at that. Oh, you think a magnet's gonna be able to pull it out if it gets stuck? I don't think so.
Quite old.
Very old, and it's got rust down here.
Well, yeah. That's Chinese wax paper, so.
Damn Chinese.
Rust prevented the paper.
Damn Chinese. They're giving us rusty paper. But yeah, you can see 562 minus. It should just go in. I mean, this one should be really easy to go in. Yeah. I would say that's
3/10.
No. 8/10. Almost a thou. Well, but this should be half a thou bigger.
Well, let's try it. 563 won't go in there, then guess what?
Oh no. You can get my fingerprints off of this.
Don't let the police see those
Don't let the police find that. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it is the size that we said it was, 9/16.
Yeah. So 563 is. So we probably need to machine it to 564.
It wants to go in.
It kind of wanted sort of. So.
Oh, just barely. I mean, it's
it's just right there.
It's sitting there trying.
So I think if we go a thou bigger.
Yeah. Thou bigger than that, would be perfect.
Shrink that, drop it in there.
Pretty
so
nice.
We're going to machine it to
564. Ooh. Looks pretty good.
That start thing works perfect.
Does it? So there's a tiny taper right here.
Tiny little step taper or something.
Step taper thing.
Yeah.
And that'll just ensure that this goes in and centers before it gets cattywampus.
And just seizes.
It'll self-center itself. Self-center itself. So this is the right size. It's going to go in here. Just like that.
And then we'll mill it flat.
And we'll mill it flat. But first, we got to heat this. Got to heat this guy up. We got to cool that guy down.
And it'll go in about this deep.
Yeah.
You can see where the end mill just barely popped through there.
Yeah, you
Won't
can.
matter anyway.
You can barely see that on the camera. Yeah. Just got so many tools everywhere. God damn. It's crazy. This guy. Handle. This goes in here. like that.
And then
down
this.
into the depths.
And this. And this.
People were freaking out that we didn't have gloves on for this, but
Oh my God, it's terrible.
it's, I don't think it's that big of a deal, actually. Beautiful. Beautimus.
20 minutes?
20 minutes. We're going handheld, boys. All right, we're going to heat it up in here. Oh, there's heads in there. God, shit.
It has.
Yeah, you got to lower it down.
a little bit.
Perfect.
And that is it. 20 minutes.
300 degrees. Set this down on the ground or something? What did I do?
Got the wrong glove.
There you go.
It's all the way down.
That's all the way down? You just stuck it in?
That's done.
There you go.
How is that fast? I can see it coming out that little hole.
Can you?
There. Touch a Loctite.
Cool.
She ain't coming out. You like that, guys? How cool is that? Got the insert put in here, and now I've got to cut this down to flush. First I'm going to do, this is 9/16, basically this is 1/2 inch. I'm going to cut down, it's going to cut the setter down. I'll switch cutter out to a larger diameter, and then I'll just bring it down and just barely touch it. So this is going to make some noise because I got this set on the mill, but it's all zeroed, centered, and let's make a cut. See what's going on. Actually, what I need to do is come up with I didn't measure the depth of that. Let's do that. Let's see where we are. Like we're 568. Look up on my handy dandy chart. Let's see what 568 is. 37/64 is 567. Let's do that. Let's just use a caliper. So this is a cheat. So that's actually 568 plus 4 thousandths. From that point, so we're 4 thousandths above. We'll go with that. Okay, finish this off. I wasn't happy without lube, but I told it needs to figure out, get its life in order and get happy. The other thought I have on this, and you Corvette guys are going to probably wonder, and that is whether or not I need to put that set screw down here to hold it in place. But there's a couple things that I'm thinking. First off, this is about 1.5 thou interference fit, and every time I've ever tried to put aluminum into aluminum or remove it when it has some type of interference fit, it galls and you don't ever get it out. And so what I'm thinking in the case of this is just to machine this flush, drill and tap 3/8 16 for the 3 thou oversized stud. When that threads in, it's going to expand this into the case, and it will bind it in there. Even though it's smooth, it's going to bind it in there. You're never going to get it out. Let's flat this off fully with that. So 568 depth. Okay, here we go. We'll bump this a little higher. We'll sneak up on it. Let's get this shit off here a second. Over to that bird nest. I can feel it, but it's maybe 1/2 thou off. Let's go 1/2. See that tiny mark right there? I mean, we are there. So that's dead center and level. Woohoo! Very nice. Next step is to drill and tap 3/8 16. And on my handy dandy scale, coarse thread. 3/8 16 is a 5/16 bit. I don't know if you guys can see that. So we're gonna center drill and a 5/16 bit, and I'm gonna run it down. Okay. Let's measure the depth of that so I know. Oh, beyond 1 inch. Okay. Okay. Well, I'm going to use this. 1.25 inches. 1.25 inches. Huh. Okay. So let's do that. Sorry for my arm. All right. There we are for depth of set. So let's, should we go slow on this? Let's go slow. Slower anyway. A little piece of that crap falls in there and it just gets wedged properly under that blade. There's no cutting. And you apply pressure and nothing happens and you go, well, what the hell? Okay, so that's to depth. Run the tap. Gotta put a chamfer on that. Whatever GMU, you know, that's not the same depth as that. So however they set this up, when they machined this, it was on a machine center, and all this stuff was ganged together. So one operation was carried out, which is thread all of these holes. One shot, one machine, 12 drill bits. Drill and tap and do the thread relief. One shot, boom, done. Same with drilling holes in the case, and all that stuff was just all ganged together. These machines were ganged together to be able to produce it. They had to make 90 some blocks a day for the volume of cars that Chevy provided over the time period they were made. That's a lot of engines. So we got two different taps. I'm gonna run this one, 3/8/16. This is a nice plug tap. We'll get the hole started with that, and then we're going to run a 3/8/16 bottom at the end. Oh, we got to do a chamfer. This should work pretty cool. So, yeah, it's recording too. Awesome. Didn't lose a connection like we did on the other video. Let's chamfer this. I like these. This is a European style. Really sweet. Look at that. Wow. We can actually do something. Let's check something. Let's check the clearance. You like that, Dwayne? Let's check the clearance here between the chamfer and the wall. And we're at about 150. Oh, we got more to go. Let's do a little more. Pretty much right there. Let's leave it at that. I like that. Not the same type of chamfer, but it's still a relief for the threads. I do like a little lube on the taps. I don't have any tap magic right now. I'm out, so I'm using synthetic grease and WD-40. So, and I'm gonna run this down by hand. I don't do this in the automatic mode at all. I'm afraid of ruining shit. You all know what I mean. Howdy.
Hi guys, 99 hours plus on this recording time. Wow.
Yeah, it's a
you can
long
record for a long time.
Okay, so let's get this going.
Whoa, he's putting a socket on top of the mill. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Or a ratchet, I mean, not just a socket. The socket's not very interesting by itself.
No, the whole ratchet. Yeah, I'm gonna do this by hand.
Does that work? I guess it does work.
Yeah, that way I don't bottom out and lock everything up. Let's get this out of the way. And this is a wonderful tap. Look at that. Isn't that the neatest tap, William?
Well, I mean, it's just a
It forces all the crap out of a blind hole.
Yeah, it's just a 3-fluted, nice spiral one. Those are very nice. I like those spiral ones.
Yeah.
Until they break.
Right.
Are they? I don't know if they're stronger necessarily than a.
I don't know. You think we gotta run a?
Yeah, I think I do a bottoming tap. You want to try? Let's do a bolt.
I'm looking for a bolt.
Aren't they in the?
Moving all this crap.
Aren't they in the drawer right there?
They're in the drawer right there. Yeah.
Right behind where everything is.
That's
yeah.
exactly where they are.
Hmm. Ooh. Ah.
Of course, I know it's gonna thread in there because.
Yeah, I mean it's 3/8/16. So how
What
long
I need.
How long is it?
It's not as long as those. That's the problem. And it's got that countersink, so it's hard to hold. Plus, you got to blow it out.
Oh, it's not as long as these. Look at this. This is way
like
longer.
little schmutz in there. It's got to get blown out. The hole's got to get blown out to thread it in.
Okay.
So
Let's do that.
I don't really feel like moving all that stuff out of the way just to get a single bolt out.
No.
You know, we could just go ahead and run the bottoming tap in there and forget about it. Listen to that bird.
Well, here's 5/16.
What I 3/8/16. No, that's metric.
Is it metric?
Yeah, those are VW studs. Somebody used those to bolt heads together and send it to me.
Oh, yeah, they're not right. They definitely do not fit.
Okay, Bill, got your crankcase, at least this hole fixed.
Yeah.
And guys, this is what was in there, at an angle.
Yeah.
7/16/14 Mambo thread.
And now it should be fixed.
Now it's back to 3/8/16.
Gonna be able
And
to
just
put a regular stud in there.
Yep, nice,
Don't worry about
nice
it.
counter sink. That I didn't put as much thread relief as these guys, but this is shallow and this is deep. So who the hell, you know? So anyway, this is really nice counter sink on it. So that is that, guys.
So, you know, we're looking for bolts. We found this one and then immediately found these outside. So if you thread them into one of the other holes, which I think these holes are fine.
Yes,
it's just that
all
these are
those
marked for stud being bad.
Yeah, the end of the stud was rusted off from
And so
living
these
in
are, that's
up
open
north.
anyway. So
Yeah, you might want to blow the other ones out, even though they had came. You know,
sure.
They were very, very, very.
So if you look at this, I don't have a stud right here, but I'm pretty sure this is about the same length as a stud because this is right. This is short.
Right at 1 inch, basically, 900 something.
Yeah, this one is a little bit
length.
shorter than that.
Yeah.
So this one's a little bit longer, so it's probably close to a stud. So you thread into this one. It threads in
all the way to the end. Don't. Yeah, it's
all the way
just
to the
gonna-
end, right?
Yeah.
That's how it's supposed to do stock, right? That's how it's normally supposed to do it. Okay, so then thread into the new hole all the way to the end. Or actually beyond what that one was doing anyway.
Yeah. That's because we ran the bottom tab. So then you can show the difference in the...
Yeah, so the stud is
length.
long. So the stud is long, and this guy is really close to the same length.
That's pretty much the same, yeah.
So
Very good.
that's very representative of that. Yeah, this is a great hole. It matches the other hole on this one. I mean, I can check.
Doesn't matter.
I can check a million holes, but if it matches one of them, then it matches all of them probably.
Yeah.
So yeah, 1 thou interference, just it's bound in there with Loctite. Yeah, with Loctite.
With the red Loctite.
Yeah, so that's the repair right there. Bam, done.